Now we are.
All right, we're back. Okay, so I don't know what happened. We got kicked out, but anyway, I forgot where we were.
I was talking about like.
Oh, depression, like why you felt overwhelmed or whatever.
I just had a lot of stuff going on. My grades weren't going very well. I didn't really understand some of the stuff that was going on in my classes.
Is that because you were out DJing?
No, I wasn't.
Staying up late?
I wasn't DJing at that time.
Okay, go ahead.
And I was just, I don't know. It's always come and gone in waves.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it comes around the wintertime.
Okay.
So I was just, I don't know, I was just going through it. I don't know exactly where, I still don't really know exactly where it came from, but it was just like, it was just really strong.
Mm-hmm. And so how did you make it through?
Support from my friends, my family, and seeing like a counselor up there.
Mm-hmm. And so, like some students feel like, they would never see a counselor. Like, what would you say to those people who, might feel there's some kind of stigma around talking to someone?
It's kind of hard for me to, really, it's like, to be honest, it's kind of hard for me to understand that because I've always been a really open person with a lot of my friends. I'm just very willing to tell people, and just be like, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
Please help me. So, it's kind of hard for me to speak for them or speak on that, but I would say that, you never really know. You never really know how helpful it is until you go, because I mean, people, your friends will try to insert themselves into your situation or try to understand your situation, and especially if they have no experience, that can a lot of times make it worse. So,
yeah. Well, it's like I always tell him, when you need advice, don't go to your friends, because just like you don't know, they don't know.
Yeah.
That's what the good old mother is here for. Or if you don't want to talk to me, at least talk to another adult. But I think it's important to, just hear it from a person of his age, to his peers, because, you don't have it all together. That's why you're at school. And speaking of which, that just brought me to a funny story. When Julian was little, I don't know, I want to say maybe like the first or second grade, he would just like have these meltdowns, and I would be like, trying to console him or whatever. And so anyway, his thought was that he's supposed to already know everything, because normally whenever the teacher would teach something, he would just get it immediately. And so if ever the teacher taught something and he didn't get it immediately, he would just have a meltdown. And so I had to say, Julian, that is the reason why you're at school, because you don't know everything. That's what the teacher is there for, to teach you. And you know what his response was? Oh, like that just took so much pressure off of him to know that he wasn't supposed to know everything. And I was trying to figure out, why would you think you're supposed to know everything? But, I just thought that was interesting. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate that.
I completely forgot about that.
Well, I mean, you were only in like the first or second grade.
I do not remember that at all.
You're right. But I'm just saying, that is like, those are just some of the things that, happen. And so, but for him growing up, he was always, just unsure of himself, and, sometimes, just a little sad. And it was kind of hard, as he was growing up, because I could see all the great potential in him. Other people could see it, but he couldn't see it. And so, for me, I find it very exciting. Like now that he's in college, even though he was a DJ and he didn't tell me that he was a DJ, he had a girlfriend, and, just he's hanging out the hub. He's doing all these exciting things that, mother doesn't know about. I just think he's in his dorm, wrapped in his comforter, reading his, literature and, studying. But lo and behold, he's actually having a life. He's getting his hair cornrowed and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but I'm happy, because that just shows me that he's really adjusting, and he's growing and becoming more comfortable with himself. And I think that's awesome. So I am proud of you.
Thank you.
Oh, I know. That was an awe moment. Oh, but anyway, so even though I rib you a lot, I'm really happy at, the person you're becoming. And, I do see a lot of greatness in you. Now, one thing that we had talked about at the beginning of the year was about money management. Okay, now let's talk about the little money management. He's not quite following the process at this particular point, but we're going to start, right? So Mr. Cecil told us about this system called the money jar system, where you can take the money that you currently have and put it in different buckets so that you always have money for everything that you need. And also, you have money that you can spend at the end of every month. And so if you put all your money into the appropriate buckets, whenever an emergency arises, you will have money. Well, let's just talk about the emergency that arose right before you came home. And since you didn't have the money jar system in effect, you didn't have the money. So he was getting a ride home, and the day before he was due to come home, what happened?
Oh yeah, my friend's car I think broke down,
Yes.
and I was trying to figure out. I was already staying. Like this was during finals week. I just stayed throughout the entirety of finals week, so most people already left.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh man, how am I gonna get home? So I had to borrow some quick money to get a bus ticket home.
Yes. So basically all I'm saying is, had he done what Mother had told him to do with the money jar system before the semester started, you would have had money.
Probably.
You would have had money? Yeah. So, okay, as you can see from his reluctance, he hasn't really brought into the fact that he's really about to start it. But you are. Is that correct? Okay, very good. Mr. Craig said, sounds like he has goals and determination to do something. Proud of you, Julian. Oh, thank you.
I'm still trying to figure out what that something is.
Yes. Yes, and Miss Janice says, money management, me and you and my student too, although she is much improved. Yes. Now, I will say this about him. I am proud of him in that he has a job while he's at school. I want to say out of all the time in the 3 years that he's been in college, he's only asked me for money one time. Like, he's a trooper. Like, even if he spends up all his money for his, what is it called?
My meal plan.
His meal plan. He'll take it on the chin. He won't even call me and just be like, Mom, I'm hungry, which, I would prefer if he would let me know. But, he'll just take it on the chin and just wait until he gets paid or, whatever it is that he does. So I'm proud of him for that. He's really manning up, and he's taking responsibility for, his choices. Now, he asked me if he could get a credit card this year. I was like, I really didn't want him to, but I just told him, I told him what to do. He didn't really do it quite the way I told him. But how are you feeling about that?
The credit card?
Yeah.
I feel like the credit card's very useful. It's just you have to, you really have to manage that.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because now you have that temptation, like, I could just put it on the card.
Yeah, I can just put it on my card, pay it off.
Yeah, so I told you to pay the card off at the end of every month.
Yeah.
And have you been doing it?
Not exactly.
So that's a no?
I'm not in debt. Like, what's going on right now is, like, I had the card, and, like, I used it early on in the beginning of the month, and then I paid that off, and then, so it was the rest of it is due at the end of next month.
Okay.
So, by that time, I'll definitely have the rest of it paid off.
Okay.
I like to use my card for, like, really, like, sort of small, like, frugal purchases, but, like, December kind of,
right, because it was Christmas.
Well, not even because
Christmas and the girlfriend.
Not even. It's just, I bought, like, for the award show, I bought, like, this nice little coat, and that was
yeah, when I saw him with the coat, I was like, okay, who is this? Is that my child right there? Oh my gosh, I don't recall.
Yeah.
Yes, he is a great son. Thank you, Miss Chris.
Thank you. I put in, it was just, I don't know. It was a cultivation of a lot of, like death by 1,000 paper cuts, just like a lot of frivolous spending. And then you look back on it like, oh.
Right. Well, remember how you used to always ask me for video games, and then when you started getting gift cards, like let's say if you got $100 gift card, then you'll be like, oh, I want to get a game. I'll be like, that game is like $60 or $70. Now, how you are. You're going to play the game for like 3 times, then you're not going to play it. Like, do you really want to spend $70? He's like, no, Mom, I don't care. So anyway, I let him get the game, and surely enough, a couple days later, he comes to me. He's like, Mom, I think you were right. I shouldn't have spent the $70. I was like, you should just get a used game. So, sometimes you have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
And so, one thing I do like about him is that he learns his lessons easily. So usually it only takes him like 1 or 2 times to get smacked around, and he's like, okay, I'm good. And the other thing that I like about you is he doesn't really follow the crowd. He's like me, like I'm a loner. I dance to the beat of my own drum. He's not quite as strong as me in that, but he's definitely better. So, I really appreciate that about you. So Miss Janet says, sounds like he's managing the credit card pretty well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And let's see what Mr. Craig said. Okay. It took him 5 years to figure it out. When you find it, just don't give up and put everything into what you want, and you will succeed at it. Sometimes the thing you want to do doesn't happen, but something you never thought you would do falls into your lap. I've always had dreams of doing real estate, but went a total different direction, and things just started falling in my lap one after another. And now I love what I do. That's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Craig.
Thank you. So Right now it's just getting, a lot of it is I have a lot of general anxiety about putting myself out there. But I know if I try stuff and I find out it doesn't work, it's better to find out, stuff that doesn't work than, just sitting on potential ideas and finding out too late that something.
Well, one of the things I told him over the summer, actually, I told him last summer was the summer that everything in his life was going to change. And so I made him read books. I made him read The Alchemist. I made him read Outwitting the Devil. And I had discussions with him about it. And hopefully you took some of that in. And so, I was really trying to train his brain and, help give him life skills that he could just build on. So now this year when he started, I told him, I was like, listen, you're a junior. Okay. So you have to try all different things. You're behind the camera. You need to be in front of the camera. You need to be, if you're going to be in entertainment, you need to be, on the air. You need to get into your organizations. You need to meet people. You need to do all these different things so you can figure out what you like and what you don't like. And what, if you're not in a particular environment, then you're not going to get to know the people that you need to know. So you can't judge it from the outside in. You have to be in and just kind of let it take on a life of its own. And so I think he's doing it somewhat. He's not doing it, all the way. I mean, I guess he has to study, whatever, study, have a girlfriend, and, DJ at the hub. So, I guess he's working it in, but I'm really trying to let him understand that, college is going to be over in a year and you're going to be out here, in the streets. So, excuse me, I want him to have his self-directed IRA. I want him to, have money to invest, money to do all the different things that he wants to do. And so I want him to get into good habits now, because the habits he starts now is going to carry him for life. And so that's really what I'm trying to get him to understand. And, if any of his friends are watching, take note on that as well. And you feel free to consult me. So, let me see. He said, just practice what you have fears of. Don't be nervous, and just put it out there and don't worry about what other people have to say. Most of the time they're just jealous. And if what you're doing and what they can't do. Yes, that is very true. People will definitely try to, dissuade you from doing something, just because they're, jealous. They don't want you to get further than where they are. It's like we always say, people don't mind you doing good as long as you don't do better than them. So that's definitely true. So anyway, well, I guess that's it. That's all I have, unless you have something further that you would like to share. This is my love fest, for my son, because I am the mother and you are the
son.
No.
Oh, the DJ.
Oh my gosh.
Also the son. We didn't establish this really when we started.
I know, right? Now, this was just like a whim that I had this morning when I woke up. So I was like, that'd be a cool idea. I would like to try it. I was like, what we'll do, we'll upload it to YouTube and maybe we'll turn it into a podcast. I don't know. But that's how I am. I just come up with ideas and I just do them. I never really know what form it's going to take. So I'm excited. Hopefully we didn't bore you guys to tears. And hopefully I didn't bore you to tears or embarrass you too much.
Just a little bit.
Okay, are you going to keep me?
You're hired, I guess.
Oh, he said I'm hired. Yay. I'm excited. So we're in agreement. He should try something in front of the camera. So we're going to see if we can correct the whip on that. And I will, see if he wants to do another episode. And if so, then I guess you guys will see us on the feed. And other than that, thanks so much for tuning in. We truly appreciate you. And we love all your comments and stuff like that. So that's really awesome. And yes, he says, good job putting yourself out there, Julian. If you need help with anything or advice, feel free to call or message me anytime. You did an awesome job, and you didn't even seem nervous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, he's so cute. Isn't he cute? I know. Anyway, all right. Thanks for watching, guys. We're out.
Yes, thank you, everyone, for joining into our show.
Ooh, our show.
Our show.
Ooh, all right. I like it. All right. See you later.